Good morning, everybody. It's Monday and it's the 1st of February, so we've had January's behind us now, and I'm calling this Whole Brain Monday. Now, it's the start of yet another lockdown week, but let's make it positive and fun. It's also Child Mental Health Week, but I think, and I believe many do, that mental health is something we should think about every day, every minute of every day, not just for 1 week, for adults, children and everybody. So I'm calling this Whole Brain Monday because most of us, maybe all of us, some of us, use only half a brain. We use our left side or our right side. Now, I'm not going to go into any detail here. You can Google search this or search on the internet about the different sides of the brain and what they are. But when you use your whole brain, you are more creative. Now, I hear you say, oh, here we go again, the word creative. But it's also vital for our well-being, as by now, anyone who's been watching my live videos and listening to my podcasts knows that creativity builds resilience. Now, when you've got creativity, you're also more productive. When you're using your whole brain, you're more productive, you're more insightful, you're more open in body, mind and heart. And remember, an open heart feels the most joy. So as this is Child Mental Health Week, I thought I'd talk about some of the whole brain creative pursuits for children. And of course, even if you don't have children, you can follow them too. So it's all for fun and enjoyment while helping to reduce stress and anxiety and improve your overall mental, emotional and psychological well-being. So this is vital at any time in life, but particularly in these challenging times. So what are some of the tips? Well, some of the whole brain creative projects you can enjoy along with your children or by yourself, knowing that you're doing creative things and that improves your overall well-being. First of all, the whole brain means using both your left and right side of your brain. Now, as I said, I'm not going to go into it in detail here, but I do think, certainly when my kids were young, I think that the education system seemed to focus more on the left side, which is the logical side of the brain. The right side's the creative side, and I think often they ignored the creative side. In fact, I often say, if you're a group of adults and you said, like, what about drawing something for me? They'd be kind of a wee bit shy, even horrified. Ask from young children, draw me something, draw me a dog, a house. They're all delighted, absolutely everybody. But it's kind of then that creative spirit is knocked out of us. So I think we should bring that back in. So some of the tips are, create a fun board. Now that would remind you of some of the creative things you can do, some of the creative projects. Just like your achievement and inspiration board, you can have your fun board and keep adding to it. If you don't have it already, keep adding to it and then put it alongside your achievement and inspiration board. Write and think about what you're going to do and then you can add to the board. And of course, that's using your left side and your right side because you can write things on it, you can draw things on it, paint if you don't mind too much mess. And the children can also get involved in that. Get the young people, even the youngest who's too young to write, to create an achievement and inspiration board. It's never too young to start. Get them to draw, get them to help cut out pictures, help them cut out pictures, stick it on the inspiration board, the achievement board, and then they start from a young age encouraging themselves. Oh, look what I've done today. Another tip is creative project is to do something using all your senses. So for example, touch. One person keeps their eyes open and they can choose, say, 3 things. And then the people with their eyes closed have to touch each of the things and describe it. And it's an interesting event when I went to Kelvin Grove Art Galleries in Glasgow. BT were running this and it was an ex experience of how a blind person experiences life. And we went in an area had been cordoned off, and a guide took us through a door, and when we moved into this area, it was pitch black. There was absolutely nothing. We couldn't see. And of course the instinct was, kind of close our eyes. The guide said, no, please don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. We walked along a path with street sounds, buses, cars, crossings. We went into various rooms, and we were taken into this room. We were told this is the kitchen. And the guide said to us, describe what you see. And to our horror and shame, now we were only allowed 6 at a time, so there were 6 of us, and to our shame, I think all of us went, oh, there's grey worktops, grey walls, grey floor, and he stopped us there and he said, why did you say grey? He said, there's actually a red carpet, blue walls, there's a white worktop, so it was interesting that we just all suddenly said what we saw was just this kind of greyness. When we came out to the bar area, we were offered drinks, any soft drinks of our choice. We all got what we asked for, whether it was peach juice, orange juice, lemonade, and each one of the assistants behind the bar was blind, and our guide had been blind. So in fact, we thanked the guide and realised, of course, that everyone in that room that had been assisting us were blind. What was interesting then, we were allowed to ask them questions, and I asked, did some of them were blind from birth? Were some blind by an accident later? And though those who had been blind from birth, I kind of asked again, how did they find out about colours? And that was another interesting one. Now, there might be different ways, but one of the girls said that she was taught that cold, if they feel ice or cold, that's blue. If something's hot, it's red. So in fact, they could choose or learn about colours that way. But I mean, it was so difficult, so inspiring to see these people, and I just couldn't imagine what it'd be like. So try and think of ways that you can use, close your eyes, touch things, see how much detail you can get. You can do a similar exercise, of course, with taste and smell. And of course, remember there's trust. Choose items that you can taste. This is not to trick. You're not playing tricks on anybody, but you're building trust. So they need to know that. Some of these are party games you maybe played when you were younger. And of course, you can make a scrapbook. I know I used to have scrapbooks. I think you used to exchange them at school, different scraps with different people in the class. Create a well-being tree. Now that's a good one. Draw a tree trunk and then the branches, and the children can do this, of course, and then put words on the branches that you're thankful for or you're grateful for. Get the children to think of positive words too, not material things. Try and get them to think about other things they're grateful for. Their family, their brothers, sisters, cousins, teachers, frontline workers, anyone at all that they're grateful to have in their life. Love, friendship, trust, support, all these words can go in the branches. So it's important to say to the children to write what's important to them, what's important to you, and you can build this tree. Do puzzles. Now they're great. I mean, I think puzzles are good whole brain activities, and they say it keeps your brain young. And your brain active. So it's really good to do that. And of course, there's loads of them, isn't there? There's crosswords, there's Sudoku, lots of other ones. What about an I Spy game? I do I Spy a lot with my grandchildren, and they love it. Even when they were young, would I spy with my little eye something beginning with blue. We'd use colours because they maybe couldn't have words when they were very young, and then you graduate to something beginning with B or whatever. So when you're outside, when you're walking in nature, that's a fabulous whole brain exercise. Absolutely wonderful. And it just keeps your perspective on things new. And of course, try to remember what you spied. So I spy maybe a bird, a tree, a cloud, An ant, a spider, bees, flowers, even raindrops, or a spider's web frozen in the air. Their beautiful pictures have come up that are posted by people. So just try and remember everything you saw. So it's the I Spy game. And then when you get home, ask them or yourself to remember, what did you see? How many things can you remember? And write them down or draw them. The other exercise for whole brain is listen. Listen for sounds, new sounds. What sounds did they hear when they were out? What sounds do you remember? Make up a story. Now get them to write a story. If they're too young to write, get them to draw or paint if you don't mind the mess. And then you've got to guess what their story's about. Now children are good at that. They'll draw something and you'll say, oh, that looks like a dog, and they'll go, no, it's not, that's an alligator. So try and get them drawing and you guess what they're drawing. Learn something new. Now we saw this over last year in the lockdown, and people were fabulous at doing something new and then the courage to post it up and share it with everybody. So what about changing a tyre? If can't change a car tyre, maybe you could learn. Maybe it's too cold just now. That could be something for the spring. Spring is coming. Learn to knit, to paint, to draw, bake, cook, sing, play an instrument. Just so many things. And if you haven't done this already, try now. And if you have, try something else that's new. Doing something that's new. I mean, I know some friends, my oldest friend in her 90s, she knits woolen caps for premature babies. Now, they're to be donated. I think that's difficult just now with the virus and the lockdown rules. But keep going. They will be needed. Another good exercise for whole brain activity is to learn to listen. Learn to listen. Now we all think, yes, I hear, but are you really listening? And that's where, and I think it's very good to teach your children really from a young age about the effective listening model. It's something that I try and abide by. It's teach the children about this. It's never too young. What is it again? It's focus. So if somebody's speaking to you, try and focus and give your attention to that. Nothing else, just focus. And then, of course, you acknowledge. That doesn't mean you're agreeing. It can be by nodding or just anything, or yes, just to let the other person know that you're actively listening to them. And then the next stage is, which is often missed, is clarify. How many times have somebody spoken to you, could you go and do that? You're going, yes, 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 and off you go. And then once you've left them, you think, what was that I was asked to do? So clarify, remember to clarify. Is this what you meant? Have I got you right? Go over it again, please explain it again. And then you can respond. Now respond does not mean to say, yes, you're going to do it. Respond means a lot of things. It can be, oh yes, that's fabulous, I can do that. Or it can mean, look, I'll need to think about that. And then, of course, you're back on the circle again. Focus. When you've thought about it, you go back, focus. And so the circle goes round and round. And it can go for both parties, all parties, until you're clear about what was being communicated and what you've agreed to do. It's really an excellent model. Of course, reading, that's a fabulous whole brain activity. You can get engrossed in the books. And if you've got any of my books, I talk about writing with your non-dominant hand. That's a fabulous whole brain activity. Try it. You'll be amazed at what you can do and what comes out of this. And of course, remember, you have to eat a healthy diet. Think of foods that give you certain vitamins. Get enough sleep. Try and watch less TV, don't go on your electronic gadgets as much. And then, of course, teach your children from a young age. At my ABC, they're teaching meditation in schools now. They know it works to improve well-being. And of course, the breathing techniques, that stops anger. All these things can be learnt from a young age. So for today, the affirmation could be, I create a fun board of creative things or creative activities. B, your breathing. Show the children how to breathe effectively. Now, a good way, because some people have said, oh, it's quite difficult. How do you show when you're breathing from the lower diaphragm? But actually if you've got a dog, watch how they sleep. The tummy goes out and in. If you've got a baby, watch how they sleep. Really interesting, because they're natural, effective breathers. C, creative imagery. Ask young children to close their eyes and imagine anything, a beautiful beach or a meadow, garden, a flower, or even the clouds, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just ask them to take a deep breath in through their nose and slowly out through their mouth, and then tell them to say these words, and just say, I am calm, I feel good. So when they close their eyes, it could be anything, and they're learning then to use their whole brain. So to finish for today, my meditation I'm going to do is floating clouds. And I put I don't have a scarf, I see David's watching, I don't have a scarf around my neck. I put a bling on, a blingy scarf. And I thought, this is sort of, should I do creative things? My hair's getting long enough, I could have put them into bunches, I think. But maybe that's just going a step too far. So it's a bit of bling, and I'm quite warm today. So, that we'll go into the meditation. Remember, your feet on the ground, you've got to ground yourself. Your back straight but not stiff, so that makes you feel confident. And let's do the close our eyes. So if we close our eyes now, and I want you just this meditation is really good for thinking creatively, imagining creatively, and you feel positive and relaxed and confident. So just imagine that you're lying down. Now take a deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale through the mouth. Now imagine you're lying down. You're looking up at the clear blue sky. You feel relaxed. You feel calm. You look up and you watch soft white clouds slowly float by. You feel as if you could touch them. They continue to slowly float by, soft and silent, changing shapes as they float by, soft, fluffy, wispy. You can imagine anything you want. You feel calm. You feel relaxed. Now take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold. And then exhale slowly through the mouth. Now in the next breath, breathe in the clear, pure air. Feel it flood through your mind and body. And say to yourself, I am calm. I create any shapes with these clouds. I am relaxed and I am confident. Now open your eyes and say again the words, I am relaxed, I am confident, I am positive. And then just yawn, shake your shoulders, just bring yourself back into the now. Now, I hope you've enjoyed that. And remember, if you know any young people and you're working with young people or have young children, it's never too early to start. They'll be naturally creative anyway. Lots of children kind of naturally use their whole brain. They're thinking, they're writing, they're drawing, lots of these things. They're using their right and left brain. And don't let anything knock the creative side out of them. We need both to live a fulfilling life, and we can create the life we want. Now, a wee reminder about my virtual book event. On Friday, we were hit with technical difficulties. I'm really sorry about that. Apologies for last week, but we're running it again on Friday, and it's a bit later, 7:30 on the 5th of February, Friday night, and it's an evening of creativity, fun and learning. It's learning how creativity builds resilience, and it helps you manage all kinds of challenges and changes that come your way in life. And so I hope you join us. You need to register. You register on Eventbrite. There's a link, I think, on social media. I'll be joined by Danielle McGregor, who is she's written some of the poetry in it. So please join us, and it should be fun. It's a question and answer session as well, so you can ask us questions. Hopefully we can answer them. And remember, have a fabulous day and week, and I'll be back on Wednesday. I haven't got a title yet, so if you want to send me a suggestion for a title, then I'm really happy. If I choose your title, then you get a chat with me for an hour on any topic you like. So remember, smile, it costs you nothing. Laughter is the best medicine. And I can see Billy's come on, and I love Billy posts up stories of his what happens during the day, and it's always fabulous. I get my laugh there. So try and find a funny moment in every day. There always is something. And don't laugh at anyone else. Laugh at yourself by all means, but find a funny moment in every day. And of course, I'll be back on Wednesday. And meanwhile, virtual hugs to you all. Thank you for listening and watching.